Hello, and welcome to Patched. I'm your host, Paul James. Today I'm joined by Matto Phillips. How's things, mate?
Yeah, great.
Footy team's
Good.
done for the year. The Matildas have lost.
Matildas are lost. Yeah, it was a very different story to last week where we delayed Patched because we were both watching a soccer match that none of us would ever watch it anyway. And this week, no cares whatsoever. We were about 15 minutes early this time around. We just thought, let's get done.
Yeah, we no longer care about the soccer again. We were on the bandwagon while we were winning, and now that we got knocked out and we're playing for a third, who cares? The footy's on.
Soccer is for winners. Sports is for winners, not for third.
And if you're gonna lose, then you don't have our time. And speaking of winners, we all could be winners this week with GamesCom's Opening Night live showcase, where we're going to get a whole bunch of stuff. Geoff Keighley's got another one of his showcases on, where he's revealing games, mostly apparently focusing on updates to games that we already know about, but I'm sure there'll be a few new reveals along the way. And so we're doing what we normally do, and usually do pretty badly, which is, I guess, sharing a few predictions about the event. There's no necessary structure we'll follow. We'll just see what we all have and land on some answers from there. Maybe wax about some of the stuff that's potentially going to be there, and we'll bounce. So we'll get to reflect on it a little bit next week amongst the updates episodes. So, Matto, we were discussing a little bit beforehand in terms of some of the things that Keighley has already announced. So just to kind of give people some heads up, the things that we know about as of the time of recording this. We know Modern Warfare 3 is going to be there. Sonic Superstars is going to feature. Cyberpunk 2077's Phantom Liberty. Mortal Kombat 1. I'm scrolling through Jeff's tweets now. There's a lot of Assassin's Creed Mirage. There was Fort Solis. There was Black Myth Wukong. There's Alan Wake 2. He's got quite a few things that he's already revealed that will be there. And I guess we'll just kind of use that as a launch pad to go from there. So I guess what sort of things are you expecting to see, or hoping to see even, at this showcase?
I was trying to think of predictions of what there was going to be, and I was scratching my head and going, I don't know. There's that many games coming out this year that I'm just trying to figure out what. Because they're clearly not coming out this year. You would think it'd be silly or absolute suicide to pretty much bring out a game for the rest of this year. I would thought.
Yeah.
4 months.
Like indie stuff, probably. You could still get away with that. Be the little small fish that comes out, but you might also be targeting December more than you would be the September, October, November period. So, I don't know.
That's a fair point.
So I guess there's opportunities there for maybe smaller developers. But yeah, if you're certainly a bigger company with a big budget, multi-millions, maybe even billions of dollars invested, unless you're GTA and GTA is not coming out this year, then you're probably not going to have anything to say and nothing to announce for later this year. So, are there any games that you are kind of either hoping for or expecting to see?
Well, expected. We did talk about this, the Cyberpunk DLC.
Yep.
But both Keanu Reeves and Idris Elba will both come out and start talking about it. And Keanu will be as excited as ever, as he always is, about this game. Since day one ever, we found out that he was in the game. His sheer excitement for this game.
Wonderful.
You're breathtaking.
Even
when the Xbox showcase, he was there just for no reason whatsoever. Then when he was done, he just walked off.
Just disappeared.
Disappeared.
It was good.
Showed the trailer. It was great. It was like, that's how you do it, people. Don't just carry on talking about absolute gibberish. Just say, here's the new trailer for Cyberpunk, Phantom Liberty, and then just walk off. Like, cool.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I guess the way his appearances have kind of been over the years have been weird, but at the same time, can't rule out the possibility that both. Like now that we're this close and we're, what is it, like a month? Bit over a month, maybe.
Close to a month, yeah.
Or is it October? I can't remember. September, October. 1 to 2 months anyway away, and it's the last kind of big stage that you're going to have before the game comes out or before the expansion comes out. No reason why you can't just try and wheel out Keanu and Idris at the same time. It would make for entertaining viewing for sure.
But it's also too, you got to remember Cyberpunk. If people still have that vivid memory of, hey, I purchased your game day one, and it sucked. So why not get Keanu Reeves and Idris Elba out to forget all about everything that. Up.
Yeah, it's a weird one because the game certainly no one really hates on it anymore. I think most people who've returned to it, I think including yourself, have kind of come around.
Yeah, I'm playing it now.
Come around significantly. Oh, at the moment, okay. So I guess we'll talk more about that next week. But yeah, it's. I don't think there's too many people who are speaking negatively about it now, unless they played it in the first place and
And
have
never
not
went
gone
back
back
to it.
since. And even then, most of those people, I'm sure they recognise also it was bad then, but they haven't. They're probably aware of what the conversation is around it. So either way, it'd be good.
Just
I
see
mean,
where
it's going to
you.
be there, and
It
it'd be
is the
good to see
best
if
thing
they
when you hear
show up.
someone talk about Cyberpunk and they go, "Oh, it's rubbish. It's graphics are going like, well, you clearly haven't played it since I don't know since 2020 when
Yeah.
it first came out. So go play it, and you might change your mind
You'll be
a little
breathtaking.
bit. Maybe. You
Um,
never know.
I guess I mean on my end, I guess we can kind of bounce back and forward a little bit. I'm wondering if something like Suicide Squad doesn't show up, just as and
Oh, hey guys, we're still here.
we're still here. The game's apparently going to come out in February now. That was the date they delayed to. And if that is the case, then maybe it's the opportunity for them to show people how they've changed things up since then.
Before and after
Yeah,
showing, like, this is what we did before, now do this. And everyone will say, and probably X, Threads, whatever social media thing you're on about, we'll probably just troll them and say, this is shit. Even
Yeah.
though they completely change it. It's just to mess them with their heads.
exactly. It's. I mean, the whole circumstance when it comes to that game is pretty weird. But I mean, it was targeting late this year for quite some time, and certainly like the story's not going to change, the core gameplay is not going to change. Like mechanically, it's going to be solid. So really, it's now just down to some of those systems around it, the way they were monetizing it, and the way.
So the internet.
Yeah. So, if I guess. I don't know how much work it takes on the back end to rearrange all of that sort of stuff and reconfigure a lot of that stuff and rebalance the whole thing. But I'd like to think it's not a crazy ask. So maybe they're at a point where they can say, like, they can kind of put it out there and say, okay, this is what we're going to do and this is how it's going to be better than what it was before. But I guess we'll soon find out. Anything else on your end?
My end, we will get the Capcom surprise.
Oh yeah, of
Whatever.
course. Yeah.
Whatever that is, which is obviously Monster Hunter. Let's be honest here. If
Yeah,
not,
we've put our money on it being Monster Hunter.
I will laugh if it's just we're so confident. Like, yeah, it's gonna be Monster Hunter. Then they just show something
Mega Man.
completely different, Mega Man or something. It was like, oh, or something that
So much for
everyone's
that.
completely forgotten about, and we'll just go, oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Oh jeez, see, I can't even I can't allow myself to even contemplate what it'd be if it's not
Monster Hunter.
not Monster Hunter, but it's a possibility, I suppose. And yeah, I mean, especially if this game is meant to be coming out before March or so of next year, Gamescom feels like the right time, especially if it is Monster Hunter. They could always wait for Tokyo Game Show, which is only a few weeks down the line in September, I think. I think it's September. But and that would kind of make sense as well, considering it's kind of their homeland for Capcom. But and Monster Hunter is still at its biggest there. But yeah, I feel like Gamescom's the right thing because they're trying to build this whole franchise up for Westerners, and that would be a good way to do it. Speaking of games from Japan that big and have the potential to get even bigger, I reckon. I mean, the least surprising thing in the world for a Geoff Keighley show is that Kojima is somehow involved, and he's already. I mean, considering Jeff's criteria is games that have we're showcasing new things for games that have already been announced. Death Stranding 2.
Anything for just it. Yeah, of course.
So I feel like that's a really viable possibility.
Because we haven't seen any gameplay or anything from it except
No.
trying to do the old PAX thing and going, oh, what's this? And then somebody just went, oh, it's Death Stranding 2.
Yeah,
And
let's.
it's like, oh, shit.
Um,
No, someone figured out the code.
And I don't know. Like, it's a weird one. Like, as far as we know, he did a bit of a rewrite narrative wise because of the pandemic. He must have done another one of his predicting the future things, and so he's realized I need to change this, and he's admitted that himself that he needed to change it. So I don't really know.
Babies in a jar.
Well, yeah, we haven't gotten the babies in a jar in real life yet, but well, no, I guess there's test tube babies and all that sort of stuff, so it's pretty close, right? But yeah, he needed to go back to the board when it came to writing like the story of the game, but mechanically, I mean, there's a pretty solid foundation there. I suspect it's not going to change too drastically, so I feel like that could show up. I feel like that's a 2024 game for PlayStation anyway. What's it been? Was it 2019? Yeah, it was 2019 when Death Stranding came out. So 5 years by the time we get to the end of next year, feels about right. Also, that's been 5 years.
5 years.
Like it's been 4 years already.
Crazy.
Yeah, I don't get that. Any thoughts on Death Stranding?
I still haven't played the first one yet.
Yeah, you and me both. One of these days.
I've got to get there one day. It's on the list of many, many games that I've got to play, which is going to get even bigger.
Thanks to this September and October in particular. Well, back over to you again then.
Well, speaking of PlayStation games, well, just again, old Jim would be flogging off Spider-Man 2 again, just for no reason, only to just make sure that everyone forgets about the Activision Blizzard merger. And then Call of Duty 3 will come up right after Spider-Man 2. And then everyone will remember, go, oh, Jim, I remember that. You lost.
Yeah, I guess the weird one. The deal's not 100% done yet, so they'll kind of still be weird about it. But yeah, I like the idea of that bit of banter back and forth. I guess Spider-Man feels like it's. Or do you think there's any chance that we'd see Wolverine? Or do you think they'll wait until Spider-Man's out before they go back to that well?
Spider-Man's out. Better show. I don't know. They won't show Wolverine at Tokyo. You wouldn't think that'd be the right place. They'll just drop it somewhere. I don't think it'll be at Showcase because you'll just take all the buzz off Spider-Man 2, which you don't really need to. If anyone's not seen the gameplay trailer on YouTube or the last one,
just go check it out and you'll be
out because it is great. If you didn't think about it, if you weren't sure about buying the game, that trailer will change your mind.
I don't see any way that anyone could be on the fence in the first place. I was
on the fence. I was on the fence. I was like, yeah, I could get it. Then I saw the trailer. I was like, oh, no, I'm buying it. Take my money.
That's fair.
No questions asked.
I guess keeping the PlayStation theme going, there was a leak, real, maybe not, last week of the PlayStation Slim, the PS5 Slim.
I saw that, yes.
If that's the case, then I feel like, that would indicate they're on belts and being made, so PlayStation would be trying to hold that off to the last minute. I think they've sold the full allocation of Spider-Man consoles, so people will be fine there, which means I feel like they can pull the trigger on a slim version of the console and launch it later this year.
I would laugh if that was somebody who just did a 3D printing project at school or something and just thought, and then he's just looked at it and went, oh no, what have I done? Or Sony's looking at it going, that's a brilliant idea. Let's do that one. Let's do that one because we're not very good at coming up with ideas.
It did look like it had the removable disk drive that was rumored. That kind of potentially fake, potentially real thing that we've seen. It does make it look as though the removable disk drive, which was a rumor, is actually a thing. So that's going to be kind of cool for those who don't want to have the flexibility to go become a physical console if you want, but maybe get it cheaper out the gate with a digital console. I guess I might bundle into that PS5 Slim part of the conversation is that maybe the Q Lite, or the Project Q, the remote play device,
the Q Switch
might come out too, because that is meant to be out this year. So,
is it? I haven't really heard much about that.
I'm pretty sure it's meant to be out before the year's out. So, I feel like that's probably the time when they go, here it is, here's the date, here's the price. Maybe they even bundle all these all these little announcements together. Here's the console, here's the Q Lite, the I can't remember what they call it, the PlayStation Access controller, the accessibility one though.
Oh, the wheel. I call it the wheel.
Yeah, the access controller.
What's
the date for that? I feel like that's...
Also forgot about that controller too.
That comes out December 6th, apparently. So, they've already dated that one, but yeah, they could probably lean into that a little bit as well, I feel like.
Yeah, possibly, because I completely forgot about the old... the access controller. Yeah, they just don't really promote it that much. It's just, you see a picture of it every now and then it just disappears.
Well, it's probably one of those things where, for the audience that it's really, there to serve, and that's obviously people with maybe some sort of disability that, perhaps the traditional control is inaccessible to them. Those people know about it, and I'm sure it's way up on their radar, and for everyone else who that it's not necessarily applicable to, then you don't necessarily care. But there is also the really hardcore community that's would be conscious of the fact that the access control allows you to use a DualSense and the access control at the same time, and all of those be acting as kind of player one, essentially. So you could get pretty creative with
okay.
controller mapping and those sort of things using the Access controller as well.
So you could use one hand for sticks and the other hand for that's
Other
pretty
input
cool.
and all those sort of things. So
That
there
is
could be
really
some
cool.
really, really cool things to come of that for even the kind of, I guess, fully able and I guess the group that does not require a controller like that for actual accessibility stuff. But yeah, I don't foresee anything else on the PlayStation hardware side. So back over to you.
All right, so we'll stick with PlayStation. This is just I just find this funny. They'll just do it because they're idiots. No, they're not really idiots. They'll finally reveal multiplayer for The Last of Us.
Oh, you reckon?
No,
Oh, as in, wait, do
unless
you mean the
Bungie
multiplayer game or?
Last of Us Part 2. Yeah, whatever it was that's been people have been waiting for the last 5 years, and Bungie said no, this is
No,
bad.
it's no good.
Unless Bungie give them the thumbs up, which they won't. But it would be funny if it was there. It's just, here's some more Last of Us. That's just with their 23 Emmys or whatever their nominations are
Yeah.
for the TV show.
I suppose they can't tease a new season of the TV show because the writer strike is going to do that in for the time being. But
I mean,
yeah,
Pedro Pascal can come out, and the question is he there for Last of Us, or is he there for The Mandalorian,
or Game of Thrones if
Game of
it's a bit
Thrones?
dated.
Where limited edition eyeballs, which he lost. If anyone that wants to know,
Oh yeah,
Game of Thrones, freshly
There's a-
squeezed eyeballs. But no,
freshly
Honestly.
squeezed. Holy shit.
well, not necessarily freshly squeezed because that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Once squeezed, which does still makes no sense, but
His eyes got crushed. Everyone who's not watched Game of Thrones yet.
by a man with giant hands,
Yeah,
which I cannot remember the name of.
the mountain.
It was the mountain.
Yeah.
Was that? No, I'm not going into Game of Thrones. at the
Yeah,
moment.
let's not wade too deeply into Game of Thrones.
Because otherwise we'll get to the final season and just realise how shit that was, and then completely forget about the rest of it. And that really, really dark scene where there was a fight and no one knew what was going
That
on.
no one could see. Yeah.
No one could see. But moving on from that.
Moving on from Game of
Last
Thrones.
Last of Us multiplayer.
I mean, I'd like it to show up.
But it won't.
I don't think it will at this point. They've delayed it, and now they've gone and announced that Helldivers 2 is coming out before the end of the year. But that doesn't have a date, so actually on the PlayStation side, that might be a game that features and gets dated in the process. So,
Another game that I also forgot about was Helldivers 2.
and is going to be so awesome. I think I can't wait to have my drop pod after I've died. I can't wait for my drop pod to land on a teammate by mistake and kill them.
Oh yeah, I can't wait.
Did you play the original Helldivers?
No,
Oh
I
mate,
did not.
it was like unintentionally funny all the time. Friendly fire was like crazy. It was kind of top down, but you'd have enemies coming from every single direction. So you're kind of chucking 360s from time to time in terms of your shooting. But of course, you then start shooting your teammates in the back and kill them as a result. Or when you'd go to respawn or whatever, you'd select a spot for your drop pod to land, and then a teammate run under it, and boom, teammate gets killed by you respawning. It was great. It was so good.
I'm surprised they didn't put that as a feature of the game. Like, and yes, the pods are the same. You see someone just go splat and just squash or eliminate another player. But no, they didn't do that. It was all about shooting alien bugs in the face.
I think it's going to be really, really cool. So I hope that they do bring that out and actually date it. I did forget about that with all the PlayStation before, but that's high up there on my list if it does actually come out before the end of the year. So keen to get around that. That was still kind of a use, or did I don't know. Did I hijack that then?
That'll still be with Last of Us. That's on to you.
I've got no other ideas when it comes to Nintendo. Sorry, when it comes to PlayStation, but Nintendo, maybe Super Mario Wonder shows up. That's coming same day as Spider-Man, so it's pretty soon as well. Maybe they bring that out, show off some gameplay. I don't know. I don't know how much you can really clear up about a 2D Mario these days. I think everyone kind of gets it, and they've already kind of shown off some of the gimmicks as well.
Yep, go up, you go down. That's pretty much all it is.
But
There's really not much to show off. Unless they got some fancy feature like it. Oh wait, no, is that the game where you turn into an elephant?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So maybe they show off what
show
the gameplay actually is if you're an elephant. I don't know.
Yeah, well, they can't outdo Kirby, so good luck doing that.
True.
And,
Yeah.
but they can try. I mean, the elephant was quite funny, but I don't know what else you can be other than an elephant. You can't be a rhino because then people go, "Oh, it's Donkey Kong." You rip off bastards. You can't do that.
No, you can't do that at all.
Can't do that.
Is there anything else you can think of on the Nintendo front that isn't Mario? Because I'm drawing a blank. I don't think Metroid's going to show.
Well, I think all their other games are already out. There's Zelda. Don't think there's going to be DLC for that because
too soon. Yeah.
Too soon. Pikmin's already out, so there's nothing there unless they want to bring their stupid mobile game out again. But I don't see that happening. I don't think. Well, it's pretty much all Mario at this rate, unless they show off like a sneaky controller picture of the next Switch.
Because I don't think there's much you can say about what is it? Super Mario RPG that's coming out, like the remake of that's coming out later in the year. People know what that game kind of is already, and it's just getting a whole new look. But the core game's gonna be the same, so I don't think there's much you can show about that. That feels more like a Nintendo Direct. You don't want to bring Pokemon Scarlet and Violet anywhere near it. They've just had a Pokemon Presents recently, but also people still aren't overly happy with it, and I could see the comments just being like the live chats and all those things just being
you gotta fix your other game first before releasing
DLC
another
for
game.
it. Yeah. So yeah, I don't think Pokemon shows up. You've got there's. I'm a bit lost on the Nintendo front at the moment because it is this
won't be any
weird.
Smash. There's no Mario Kart because that's all done, almost all done. Unless they bring Nintendo Switch Online, don't think that's gonna happen. Why would they?
Yeah.
Especially at some Geoff Keighley thing, they'll just do that themselves. Unless Metroid Prime 4 turns up, that's the only thing. But I don't see that turning up.
Yeah, I don't see that turning up now until we get to like next gen announcement time because I feel like that's going to be a Breath of the Wild style game that straddles both generations.
Say, that was a launch game we didn't talk about a couple of weeks ago. Metroid Prime 4.
Didn't we? Oh shit.
No. I think we thought Mario, but we didn't think Metroid Prime completely forgot about.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah, I don't recall. I guess. But yeah, I guess that's Nintendo done. Anything Xbox on that you could foresee?
Well, the only thing I can think of Xbox is Gears of War 6, but I've been saying that for the last 2 years and we've seen nothing. So pretty much, again, we're going to see
Hellblade.
Or maybe Hellblade.
That's their backyard, really. Like they're obviously a European studio, so they could easily cruise over to Germany and show that off.
Hellblade or something by Obsidian. That's the only two things. Because it seems Obsidian's the only thing saving them at the moment.
Avowed could show, yeah. And I guess there's Outer Worlds too, but I feel like that is further behind again. So
yeah, no. Redfall
update.
No.
Oh, we fixed it. It's not broken. No, Bethesda just needs to keep all their marketing focused on Starfield and not go back to any other game for the time being.
Leave it alone. Leave Fallout 76. Leave the Hi-Fi Rush, even though there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Redfall, forget about it.
Actually, just going back to the Call of Duty thing, it's going to be weird that given everything we know, Call of Duty's going to show up and they've still got the marketing deal with PlayStation. Like, that's going to appear and it's going to be buy it on PlayStation. Or the PlayStation logo popping up. It's not going to be Xbox-related stuff, even though, yeah, it's weird. It's real weird.
Oh,
I love it. I love it for
hang on to it. It'd be funny because that's the last time they're going to be getting.
Well, I think maybe there was one more year where the deal...
Or possibly.
The marketing deal went on, so... I think. I'll see if I can work that out. When does Call of Duty marketing deal?
Who knows? One whole year of all glorious content of buy this console.
Within 2024, so I guess that's not super specific. That could be meaning this one is the last one, or it could mean that 2020, like it might be the end of 2024 for all I know. So
could be the 1st of January 2024.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't know.
Modern Warfare 3 could be the very last in that whole thing, but yeah, that's the Call of Duty thing's fascinating, I guess, through that lens. and gonna be funny if we do see the PlayStation logo splashed on it. But yeah, I guess Xbox is a weird one. I'd love to see Gears, obviously, like you're saying. Hopefully, Halo is nowhere to be seen. Fable, it's again European studio, so maybe Fable could show up. That'd be good. That'd be nice.
Probably Forza or something. That's probably a safe bet.
Stalker 2.
Oh yeah, forgot about Stalker 2.
There was, I don't know what country, but there was a retail little leak that suggested the game was going to come out December 1st. That was the like a viable day of the week. The game is pretty close to done, and if they are at a point where they could show something and announce a date, then I could see Geoff wanting to support the team, considering all that they've had to go through with the war and all that sort of stuff. So that feels like a contender as well. The game is like 3 months exclusive on Xbox. That's all it is. So it might be December and then launch in Feb for PlayStation. But for Xbox, it's good. For the team, it's good. For the industry, it's probably good considering everything's going on.
It's good for gaming all round.
Yeah,
I see.
So that's another option as well. Any other Xbox thoughts?
No, not really. I think they showed pretty much everything at their showcase early in the year. The way I see it, they're not gonna show anything new. Just unless they got a release date for something, sure, show it. But
yeah,
other than that, there's no point really just showing more stuff that you don't have a release date for.
Yeah, true. No,
people
I'd
are
agree.
just gonna start getting shitty about it and just go, well, when's it coming out? It's just gonna be like a whole God of War Ragnarok situation again. People get angry, go, hey, when's the date?
I can't remember which team it is, but there's a team that's they're not an Xbox team, but they're like tightly aligned with Xbox. It might be like Certain Affinity or someone like that, but I honestly can't remember which team it was. That it looked like they were working on something that was very Monster Hunter like. Do you recall like a Monster Hunter? Like it felt very like hunting. Xbox.
No Dino Crisis. Don't care. Or whatever the dinosaur one is.
This was a report from January last year. Oh yeah, it was Certain Affinity. So apparently they're working on something that's kind of Monster Hunter styled, which would be, a good get for Xbox to kind of get a game that's, I guess, very similar to that model and make it exclusive. But otherwise, I can't really think of anything else for Xbox.
But then there is the problem that it has the word Xbox on it, which is, I'm not going to say it's concerning, but it's just Xbox's success rate at the moment is not great. Anything outside of a shooter, like it.
Which I guess maybe it's an advantage that it's not an Xbox studio doing it, maybe?
Maybe.
That's about the only,
Find out and see.
But
who knows? It's going to be interesting if that's the case. Just another Monster Hunter game that's not Monster Hunter.
Yeah, we're getting more and more options, which is good. And I guess, I don't know if you had any other specific predictions you want to go to, but we've kind of found ourselves going through a bit of a publisher-by-publisher thing. Did you want to throw anything else out there before maybe we can kind of continue down that track that we've already started on?
Well, actually, there's another one that came to my mind. You might have already said. I can't remember what it was called. It was the Pokemon Guns game, whatever that was called.
Oh,
I can't remember what it was called, but sure they'll show more of that and just.
Geoff loves that game.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't love a game that of
Power World?
Like Power World. Probably see more of that.
That'd be kind of cool.
It would be cool. But I haven't really got anything else on the developer side of things.
That's fair. Let's maybe just roll through a couple other publishers then. We haven't spoken about EA at all. Do you foresee anything from EA showing up?
Probably a sports game. That's the only Madden or
FIFA because it's in Europe. I
don't really see anything else unless they got Mass Effect or Dragon Age or something to show off.
Yeah, maybe Dragon Age possibly.
Really don't think they're going to show anything else, obviously, unless it's their Magic Hands one. Well, that'll be out now, wouldn't it?
Which one's that?
The one the EA original one.
Oh, Immortals of Avium. That is out in about a week or two.
No, so there's no point of it turning up then.
Yeah.
Well, Need for Speed. And Underground 2.
When did Need for Speed? Did they have a Need for Speed last year?
I've got no idea. I'm gonna say no.
Unbound? Was that?
Well, possibly.
Yeah, it was 2022. So they're not even 12 months away from a Need for Speed there. So maybe not yet. But what is EA Originals. Just double
Don't
check
know
and
what
see
else
if there's
they
anything.
would have.
Just trying to think of any of the EA Originals that have potentially been announced that haven't come out yet. But everything that they've announced at this point, outside of Immortals of Avium, which is like on the verge of release, has come out. So maybe they could show up with a new studio that they've partnered with, and again maybe like a European studio or something like that they've partnered with. But otherwise, yeah, I don't think we're going to see much from them. Star Wars, but like there's always a possibility because they've got multiple Star Wars games in. Oh, do we actually like maybe a possibility to segue over to Ubisoft? Do we see Star Wars Outlaws again?
Oh, possibly.
Yeah, that could be good.
Because if Assassin's Creed's going to be there, I don't see why they wouldn't throw Star Wars in there.
Yeah.
As well, it gives a bit more of a story instead of some gameplay this time around. Because you don't need to convince us on gameplay. I think I'm sold on that already.
They could do Avatar as well, considering that's meant to be coming out in December.
Oh, Far Cry, yes, of course.
Yeah, the
Far Cry Tar.
So, Far Cry Pandora or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, they
so
can also do that.
That's an option as well. I
James
don't really
Cameron
see
will
anything
be
other than I think Ubisoft definitely fits the bill of like we'll only show things that we've announced, and maybe Prince of Persia, that 2D one, shows up as well. But that's about it.
No, not the remake. The remake is long disappeared.
Yeah, I think it'll come
History
out,
exists.
but it's a fair way away, I think.
And then troll us all with 3 green lights and move on.
Well, I mean, there is that Splinter
the
Cell remake.
There is a remake.
There is a
yes.
Splinter Cell remake, so
Ooh.
that's possible.
Well, so many possibilities with Ubisoft. Surely they would. No Watch Dogs. Leave Watch Dogs alone. That's just silly.
I guess, yeah, there are lots of possibilities simply due to the fact that they've announced so much already. Hell, Beyond Good and Evil 2 could theoretically show up based on that all this logic.
Or there was the Division mobile game.
Yeah, there's Heartland and there's something else.
Battle Royales. I don't know. Battle Royale of some sort. Free to play. Rainbow Six. They'll throw something there for no reason because it's just Rainbow Six.
Why not at this point? They might try and save Outbreak, Quarantine, whatever it's called. No.
Oh, what was it? The Rainbow Six one.
Rainbow Six. What was? Quarantine was the original name, wasn't it? And they changed it because of
Extraction or something. No,
Extraction. Yeah, that's it.
Was it Extraction? Yeah.
Ubisoft, I feel like that pretty much covers them. We've touched on Activision, and they've got nothing at the moment, probably outside of Call of Duty. Their other teams will start to build up. Hopefully, after Xbox gets them, Square Enix could show up with Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2, so Rebirth. Now that 16 is out, they could possibly just now start to throw the marketing budget at that one.
Why not? They're not doing 9.
9 will show up soon enough, but
a good one.
9 is being remade apparently, but I'll just patiently wait for that one. I'm not going to rush them. I don't know about anything else from Square Enix now that they've gone fully Japanese. I guess one interesting one would be the Embracer Group and everything they've kind of bought these days. So THQs and Deep Silvers and all of them. Like I feel like there could be a lot of that sort of stuff that starts to show up. But I wouldn't even know where to start. There's like a Tomb Raider in development that's meant to be work that's being published by Amazon, but that's an Embracer studio now.
A TV show.
No, like a Tomb Raider game, but Amazon's getting into the they're getting in on the act these days. So
stick to your shopping at Amazon. Leave the games out of it. See what Google
and
did?
Prime TV, they've got everything. So
see, you learn from Google. They didn't do very well. I don't see Amazon doing very well either.
Yeah, I think they're mostly focusing on publishing these days. Maybe they looked at Google and like, okay, we maybe don't want to try and create a platform, but we want to carve out our own space. A bit like what Netflix is doing.
Oh, I see. Yeah, no,
I mean, Netflix is kind of using their Netflix platform to distribute some games, but none of them are like AAA sort of stuff. So I don't know. Yeah, I guess there's some options there. I can't think of any other publishers. We've done Capcom, Exo Primal DLC.
Added dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Newly discovered ones. Who knows?
Any other thoughts that pop up at all?
No, I can't think off the top of my head because I think we've covered all the big AAA.
Yeah, we've worked through most of them anyway.
The initiative turns up, they won't.
The Perfect Dark again.
Perfect Dark, no chance.
Yeah. And obviously then you add that to all the things that Geoff has already announced it's going to be there, your Alan Wakes and those sorts of things again. They're a European studio, like it takes a lot of pieces off the board already. So, yeah, it probably feels like about it, really.
I think the only other two things I had was we get a movie trailer for Borderlands.
Yeah. There's also reports that
that.
Borderlands 4 is in development too.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm excited about that or not. I don't know. It just depends how the story goes.
Yeah, if they can get the people who wrote Tiny Tina to do the Borderlands 4 story, then it'll be better than Borderlands 3 already.
Just get that trio of just Tiny Tina and her two companions in that.
Yeah.
Tiny Tina. Just get them and just forget about the rest. Let's just get a Tiny Tina 2.
I mean, that could be good. I wouldn't object to that. I'm just looking at my backdrop and just seeing if there's anything that... No, CD Projekt Red's got their Cyberpunk, so they won't do anything else.
There's no Star Wars, no Horizon. Gotham Knights can go to hell. What else have we got up there?
Yeah.
Horizon, BD8, Zelda, PlayStation Retro. That's dead. Last of Us.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see much more on the PlayStation exclusives front for now. I think that's, the rumors of another showcase or whatever will be where we get what we're looking for from PlayStation there. That might be it then for us.
Oh, the last thing I had for no reason was just Terry Crews.
Yeah, why not? No, I think that's almost a given that we have to put that in.
If you really want to psych up a game, just get Terry Crews.
Speaking of other given predictions that have to be made here, Hollow Knight Silksong.
Oh yes.
We'll end on that note. If you enjoyed this episode of Patch, please be sure to like, share, subscribe. Check out all the video content there. Check out the website, player2.net.au. We've got a Patreon, patreon.com/player2au. Kicking a few bucks, lower tiers, early access. Higher tiers, monthly episode exclusives. And finally, there's X, Twitter. On the video version, I still have the little Twitter bird there in the corner, and I'm in no rush to change it. And so, Twitter is what it will be for a bit longer. Socials.
Or do we just keep saying Twitter just
in spite of them?
Just to not acknowledge X.
That's also an option.
Alright, Twitter then. Matto_Phil.
Paul James Games for myself. The website is player2au. And until next week, where we'll do updates, but we'll probably splice in a few little opinions around the opening night live as well. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you later.